Hey everyone, welcome back to the Chic Experience with your girl, me, Jae Dee. And today we're going to talk about eyewear. And I actually just want to kind of give a couple of quick pointers of what to look for when you walk into an optical store, whether you're a repeated buyer, like you're someone who avidly wears glasses, or your first time doctor says you might need some reading glasses or distance glasses for driving, or just seeing something that's a little bit out of, far away. If you're nearsighted, you can't really see far away. Farsighted, if you can't see everything near, or astigmatism like myself, where everything's just blurry all around you. So I'm just gonna go through a couple of pointers on how to pick out the best frame for your face. And it gets a little intricate, but these quick pointers will help you along when you actually walk into the store after you get your eye exam and you're like, okay, all these frames and I don't know what I want, but I have an idea of the style. I kind of like, the big frames. I want something a little slimmer or circular or square. I mean, we will walk through all of those steps today. But first is I want to go through my little eyewear journey. So I myself had to wear glasses since I was in elementary. I should have been wearing glasses in elementary. But me being the child that I am, I was a very big, roughhousing, tomboy kind of girl. So I refused to have glasses in elementary. With that being said, I waited until junior high, maybe like 7th or 8th grade. And I was like, okay, now it's time for me to get glasses because I can't see that board. And I never like sitting in the front of class for that reason. I didn't want to always get picked on, although I don't mind because I'm a little smart, but I just rather sit in the back of the class. But it was difficult for me to see what the teacher was writing on the board. So I finally started wearing eyeglasses when I was in 7th or 8th grade. Can't really remember which grade, but I know it was junior high. But as time went on, I started seeing all these cool, funky frames. But as a minor, you got to get what the parents get you. And I will say my glasses were a little dorky. I try to get like a nice little happy medium, something oval, nothing too crazy or oddball looking where I'll get picked on. But at the same time, I still, I didn't like the frames. We're just going to be real. So as I got older and I started working full time, get insurance, I was like, okay, now it's time for me to branch out into some nice fashion eyewear, but still make sure that the doctor is putting on the right coatings like anti-glare transitions and stuff like that. That was another thing. Couldn't really upgrade my glasses because, parents had 20/20 vision. They never had to deal with this. But me, being the first child that had to wear glasses, they're like, wait, they cost how much? So growing up, I didn't really get to have the nice fancy bells and whistles that come along with having good eyewear. I just stuck with what I had until I got older. And then I was like, okay, I was missing out on all these upgrades. Not fun. So I have currently 10 pairs of glasses, one of which I don't wear anymore. It's just an older pair. It's my Eddie Bauer pair. Is purple. Love them. But the style of the frame is a little smaller than what I like to wear now. So they're kind of out of rotation. So my 7 active pair of eyeglasses, they're very fun, funky, still neutral, where I could wear them with any outfit that I pretty much have on. I try to make sure all my glasses are transitional where I could dress up and dress down with the glasses. And I had 2 pairs of prescription sunglasses. It's not until I actually started wearing transitions that I noticed that transitions block out enough of the UV ray lights, but I still need to have a little bit more protection, and having a polarized pair of sunglasses, but they're also prescription, really helped with being outside on a sunny day and just blocking out the UV rays and still allowing me to see. So I'm going to go through a few of the steps that I personally had to learn, but 3 steps nonetheless that will help you pick out the best pair of frames for your face. So the first thing you need to consider with picking out frames is 1, what is the shape of your face? It really does help you determine what kind of glasses you need to be looking at, because there are some people who actually have a more narrow or medium like myself, or wider face. That really does help, because if you don't know that, sometimes you might be picking out a frame that's either too big or too small for your face. That's 1. 2, you need to understand, are your eyes in respect, and the best way to kind of determine this is take a selfie of yourself and kind of look like straight on, like how I am at the camera, and see, are your eyes more closer to your nose, to the bridge of your nose? Are they medium, like center, or are they wider apart? Again, that does make a difference because that helps you determine the lens width. Do you need something that's a little bit smaller in a lens width to come a little bit closer? Do you need a lens width that's a little bit bigger? It really does help to know if your eyes are closer to the bridge of your nose or wider apart, because that determines your lens width. You could also, if you don't want to learn this on your own, or you don't want to figure out the measurements on your own, you can go on websites like lenscrafters.com. I believe they have a nice quick questionnaire of helping you pick out the glasses. I know for sure Warby Parker does, because before they became a brick and mortar store, they were strictly online based. And to help people pick out the right frames for themselves, they asked them about 6 questions, really quick questions, about how your face is shaped, how your head is shaped, and how your eyes are set apart, and so forth. And those questions help them figure out, okay, here are the selection of glasses you need to look at. And that kind of is the nice little stepping stone for those who are just diving in headfirst into picking out eyeglasses. But for me, I know my face is oval. I don't have, a round, narrow, or heart shape. I'm actually a little bit between an oval and a heart shape because I have a bigger forehead. This hair kind of can mask it. I kind of play around with my hair to cover up how big my forehead really is. But I come out and I kind of go in. My chin is a little bit narrower, but I will lean towards more the oval side just to kind of play it safe. And when it comes to how wide my eyes are from the bridge of my nose, I'm medium. So I usually stay between a certain set of numbers when it comes to the lens width, which you can always find these measurements on the inside arm length of your glasses, or they will sometimes have them printed inside the top of the bridge of the nose right here. But I know for me, medium width frames, I will range the first number you will see is like 48, 49, 50. That first set of numbers, I would be between 49 to 53. If I go above 53, it's because I'm probably looking for sunglasses, and that's what I will do. The second set of numbers is your bridge width. Now the bridge width comes down to right here, the bridge of your nose. Is it small? Sometimes some people's bridge of their nose is a little bit wider, and some people are really wide. That number helps you figure out how does the glasses sit on your nose, because if you get it too small, they're going to be sitting too high up. If you get them too big, your glasses are always going to slide down. So at the highest point of your right by your eyes, like I would say by the tear ducts, is that part narrow or big? That second set of numbers helps you determine that. Again, you could actually, there's an equation to go through all that. It gets a little intricate, but that's a quick little determination when you're trying on glasses, how it sits on your face. I personally have a high bridge and it's smaller. It's a narrow bridge. So a lot of my glasses, as you could tell, the bridge kind of starts closer to the eyebrow line of the frame. That's just one pair. Let me pull up a second pair, which was my inclines. Again, the bridge is a little bit higher up, and you notice that it's smaller and it comes towards the eyebrow line. So I have a high narrow bridge. So that second set of numbers, I actually stay between a range of 16 millimeters to maybe 19 to 20 millimeters. If I go bigger, I actually have to get the lens width a little bit smaller because the glasses will be huge on my face, and I'm gonna have to bend the arm length a little bit down just so it could stay on my head. Like, I don't like my glasses sliding off my face. The last part is the arm length, which will be a 3-digit number. It will start from like maybe 130, 135. Again, it depends on the glasses, especially if it's children's eyewear. The millimeters are obviously smaller because their heads are smaller, but for adults, I usually see that number start at 135 unless it's a petite pair. to like 140 to 145. Now 145 and above is usually going towards the extended sizes of eyeglasses, and I usually see those numbers honestly on the men's selection, or even unisex, where you know some women like the bigger, more exaggerated frames on their face. They will give them those bigger arm lengths so it could hook behind the ear. But a lot of my frames, I try to stay at 140. That is the best number for me when it comes to picking out eyewear. So when you go to the eyeglasses store, Lens Crafters for instance, you'll see that little white tag that obviously tells you the price. But if you look around, turn it around, and you'll see another set of description numbers. They usually tell you the style number, like the actual model number of that particular frame. Each frame has its unique model number. As everyone knows in retail, everything has an identifier. But then you see those 3 digits on there. You will see the lens width, the bridge width, and the arm length printed on there. Once you have an idea of your actual range, the numbers that you like to play around with, picking out eyeglasses will be so much easier. Yes, we want something that's a little bit stylish, but you also got to make sure it fits your face, because the worst thing that I hate to see with people when they're trying on glasses is the fact that the glasses don't fit, like the lens itself, the entire width of the lens in millimeters. The lens itself don't fit. It's too small or too big for their face. The arm length is either too long, so you see like the tail end of it poking out from behind your ear, or it's too short where it's sitting on top of your ear. Now, the best example of eyeglasses that do not fit a guy, I love the way he dressed, but I hate whoever picked out his glasses. You could tell they only focus on the lens width, the width of his face, and they never focus on how long the arm length of the frames need to be. Is Shannon Sharpe. His glasses are always too short on the arms, on the glasses. It irks me, and every time I'm watching him in the morning, I just be like, somebody get him new glasses, get him new glasses. I'm just a stickler for that. That grinds my gears. And I'm like, if you're gonna have to wear glasses, do it right. And even if you're wearing it for a novelty purpose, still do it right. Like, don't insult us glasses wearers that take really good pride in picking out our frames. You know, at least let me just say, don't insult me, because I just hate it. So anyway, I'm gonna go through a few of my frames and kind of show you how different frames still fit my face properly. And when you are trying on frames, I'm gonna walk with you through the steps of what you need to look for initially when you're trying on frames. Now granted, yes, all of these frames are adjusted to fit my face a little bit more after putting the prescription lenses in them. But at the same time, when I tried them on the first time, I looked for these little telltales about if this glasses is going to be the right frame for me. And honestly, sometimes I may like it on the shelf and I put it on my face and it looks horrible. So let me start with my inclines. These were incline, and all my glasses, just so you know, I got them from Vision Works. I believe they're all over the United States. You can find them in your area, but I personally, the one I go to, I love the selection because they carry a really good variety of my favorite brand, Lamb, which is Gwen Stefani's brand. This is not a plug. I just love her frames because between the uniqueness of the styles, the fit, hands down, one of my favorite. But I do have other frames in here, and which is the incline. And the numbers on my incline are, hold on. Actually, she's a little faded because I've had her for a while. I want to say this one is lens width, maybe a 49. It may be. Bridge width is like about a 17. And my arm length, which is the only number I can still see, is 135. Now, like I said, I like to stay at 140, but this one in particular, I had them really play with how to adjust it just to kind of give me a good bend so it could hook behind my ears and stay where it's supposed to stay. So I'm going to put these on. And if this wasn't such an exaggerated bend, this will actually slide off my face. It wouldn't even sit on my face well. But when you're trying on glasses, best thing to do is see how the glasses sit on the bridge and relative to your eyebrows. You do not want a frame that comes up so high it covers your eyebrows. You need to see your face. I want to see people's faces when they're wearing glasses. That's what I usually look for. I actually worked in the optical too, so that went a long way. But I want to be able to see your eyebrows. The glasses are not supposed to be so big where it's covering the majority of your face, and I can't see what you look like. You look like you're hiding behind the glasses. That is not a good look. So my eyes, if you notice, dead center. You can see it's, in respect to my eyebrows, it's nicely lined, and it sits up, like I said, at the high point, the bridge. It sits at the high point of my nose, which feels great. So once I put that on and I see that, I'm like, I think we have a winner. Another test that I do is you just slightly bend your head and shake like this. If the glasses don't slide down automatically, like sometimes they will just move a little bit because obviously they're not fully adjusted to your head. But if they just slide down just a little bit, but they ultimately stay there, you know you have a good fit in your frames. So as you can see, these are a good fit. So I'm going to take these off. And another thing, when you take off your glasses, don't do this. Don't pull them off like that. Don't pull them off by one hand. Grab it both sides, up and down. That's how you take off your glasses, because a lot of people complain, oh, my glasses stretch and they're doing this. I could do that with these because it's a spring arm. Like they actually have spring. So when I do take them off, I'm not putting too much pressure, but not every frame has that spring action. You're supposed to just take them up and off. What happens is your glasses end up like this, as you can see. And there we go. And then all of a sudden you're like, why are my glasses stretched out? They're really not staying on my face. If they get to that point, go to your local optical store or go back to the one that you bought those frames from and ask them, can they readjust them for you? They can do that. It's the thing. You're not stuck with wearing a pair of frames that's like this and then you think, oh, I can't wear my glasses anymore. No, that's not the case. So that was my incline. Now my favorite pair, like I said, is lamb, but it's these babies. This is basically a mixed composite. It's acetate at the top, metal at the bottom, obviously with the nose pads. But when it comes to the measurements, this is the gauge of measurements that I go for when I'm looking at frames. This one, 53 in the lens width, 16 at the bridge width, and 140 at my arm length. Now, when I put these on, perfect. Like I need to actually open up my selection into having not all my frames look like this, because they really do. It's more of a retro cat eye, and I just absolutely love these frames. Oh my gosh, this is me. I could wear this with everything, but it just looks stunning on my face. At least for me, I love it. But again, my eyes are dead center. Even with this wider lens width, the cat eye part is not to the point where you see it covering my face, as some people tend to get. It's still a nice little bridge right here. It's sitting on my nose. You can still see my eyebrows. I tilt my head down, I shake. I even had them bend the arms down even more, because this was the pair that I always worked in. Like when I'm at work in merchandising, I would actually switch whatever glasses I walked in with to wear these, because this stayed on my face. Like these do not budge. I love these frames. Now, the other thing that I did to these particular frames with VisionWorks, they, at the time, I got to double check to see if they still have this feature. But at the time when I got these frames, they have a natural tint to them. They're not as clear. I don't know if you could tell. You probably can't tell, but I'm going to let you know. These have a brown little tint to them for the anti-glare and transition feature. Because of that, like I said earlier, I used to get migraines a lot in high school. And a component of that was my glasses did not have anti-glare on it, so it didn't have nothing to reflect the lighting coming into my eye. And also wearing my glasses outside with no anti-glare in the sunlight, all the rays used to come in, so they never transitioned. These in particular have a tint, so it limits, kind of tones down how much light comes into the glasses. It has anti-glare and they transition. So sis, bro, they turn into sunglasses when I walk outside. I love that. So that actually helps with, what if I forget my prescription sunglasses at home? I got it right here. I love these. This is just an amazing pair. So I'm going to take these off. So that was that one. Now, my newest one, let's go to my Kate Spades. Are my Kate Spades. Fun fact about these. Originally, they're supposed to be sunglasses. When I was picking out frames, this one had the polarized lens on it. I said, I love the shape of these frames. We're making them into glasses. And that's what I did. So the numbers on these, let me just, hair in my eye. Oh my gosh. So this one is 49 for the lens width, 23, and 140. That still, again, if you remember my happy medium for my bridge width, I said I like to go no more than 19, 20. This one's 23. The main reason, again, these were supposed to be sunglasses, and I made sure, I was like, well, if that's going to be wider, let me look at the bridge width, and I noticed it was 49. I said I could deal with that because it really does help having that a little bit narrower. But again, eyes dead center. You could still see my eyebrows, even with this being a really big lens itself. You can still see my eyebrows. And I tilt my head down and shake. Oh, so much better. Doesn't even slide off my face. And I had them still bend it down as far as possible because, again, I don't like them sliding off my ear. But still, when I first tried them on, I barely had an issue with them staying on my face. So like I said, this one, it just fits my face perfectly. And it's, you know, it's a little bit more dramatic, especially it being a full black frame with, you know, the gray black tortoise on the side. But it's just, you see how it just fits my face. It's amazing. So this is my newest, one of my newest pairs. I got this last August because, you know, I always try to pay attention to my prescription. If I'm noticing that the older styles that I'm wearing, that I'm not seeing quite clearly out of them, my prescription doesn't dramatically change, but it's just something to keep on top of, especially the fact that I get migraines the way I do. It does affect my vision. So this is another pair of lambs. And this is probably the only one that, although it's a dark gray frame, this little pop of color on the side gives it some interest and some personality. So still big, still fits my face, sitting high on the bridge of my nose, still see my eyebrows, tilt my head down. It barely slid off the first time. This one, I will say I barely touched for, you notice that in comparison to this one, I barely bent the arm down in the back because right out the gate when I tried it on, it was damn near perfect. So I kept it. I kept it that way. I really didn't do much to it. But the measurements on this one is 52 for the lens width, 18, pretty big, 18 for the bridge width, and 140 for the arm length, which is barely bent down. Now, when wearing plastic frames versus metal frames, keep this in mind. The heat, if you're wearing your glasses all day, every day like I do, the heat from your face does tend to make them bow out. Now, what I would do when I go back, because this is a little bit like, I don't like the way, it looks like my glasses are bow-legged. I don't like that. I like my glasses to be a little bit straighter. I want to have them fix that for me. And there are ways they could do that. I wouldn't suggest you doing this at home. That's why I say always make sure you go to, you know, the professionals to have them do that. But there are ways to kind of heat up the frame and bend it in a little bit more so it could hug your face. And the fact that I wear them every day, I have to make sure that my glasses do not really budge when I'm wearing them. So those were the tips that I had. It's very easy to, you know, get overwhelmed. I could totally understand that. I had clients and patients come in when they're trying to pick out the frames. You could tell when they're over it. Like after trying on 5 frames, they're like, forget this, I'm done. I'll just come back. Let me get my prescription and let me go because this is just too much. Once you figure out how to determine those numbers and what works for your face, picking out frames will be so easier. So what do you do when you know you have the big head? I hate saying that, but there's some people who think their head is really big and it's not. They just don't understand the science that goes into picking out frames. But if you do, they have extended sizes. That's it. They have extended sizes. Now for women, what do? You could wear the men's frames because technically men's face structure is a little bit more boxy than us women. We kind of have the heart shape, round, oval shape. Guys tend to have either a wider oval, like an egg, or just a very round, boxy face. That I want maybe an octagon. I shouldn't say that, but their head, yeah, you could tell their head is a little bit bigger. So if that happens, just ask the technician or whoever's there to help assist you, the customer service representative. Ask them, hey, do you have frames that come in extended sizes or some frames that run a little bit bigger than others? Now, they do. One of those frames that I have is called Blue Moon. This is actually a men's sunglasses, and this was a little bit bigger. Any person who has a bigger head, they could actually go towards this one. And if you notice, I know this is like a clear frame, but if you could see, this bridge width is pretty wide. So the measurements on this one is 55 for the lens, 18 for the bridge, and 145 for the arm length. Now, if you have a bigger head, you can easily wear these frames right out the gate for me. But because this is bigger than what I go towards, I actually had the lab technician kind of bend my lens a little bit. If you notice, this is not flat. It has a slight little curve, kind of like a U. I had them do that on purpose, just so they could bring it in closer for my face, because I have a smaller head. But look at these, look at these, look at these, look at these. And it matches my shirt. You see that? Love it. Oh, I just like knocked my mic. My bad. But you could actually see it fits my face because I made these sunglasses. I was okay with it being a little bit more exaggerated in my numbers. Like I said, 55, 18. They still, and you could actually see when it's too big for my face. You see that gap? That's how you know this is big, but it's sunglasses. I don't care. And the 145, it comes down like almost below halfway mark of my earlobe. But I'm okay with that because once I have a lot of hair on, or if I got braids or whatever the case is, you can't even see how big that lens tip is poking out. So I'm okay with that. Oh my gosh, you can see my ring light. But anyway, so I'm okay with that being a little bit bigger because they're sunglasses. But for guys or ladies, if you just want an example what it looks like when you have an extended size type frame, that's what that looks like. There are certain brands like Lacoste. I know they always have the extended sizing. They tend to have like, you know, the average frame and then they go a little bit bigger. Guess tends to have bigger frames. Penguin, they're another line where actually for men or women, or I know some like for teenagers, if they're not quite really feeling the women's line or the men's line, Penguin is a nice little unisex style name brand where they could wear those frames because they tend to run, I don't want to say teenage side, but they're a little bit on the petite side. That's the best way I could think about it. That's the best way to put it. So my other frame that I have, which is another men's line, is called Dragon. Fun fact about Dragon, they actually specialize in ski goggles and sunglasses for people who do extreme sports in the snow, skiing, snowboarding, and so forth. They actually make the goggles for them, but they also make glasses, and I love these. They remind me of the Matrix. I look like Morpheus when I put these on. So this number is 52 for the lens width, 20 for the bridge width, and 145 for the arm length. And you can see here again, I had to exaggerate the bend because, like I said, my number is 140 and this is 145. But look at these. You see this? The lens width is perfect for my face, but the bridge, I'm gonna come in closer and just you still see a little bit of a gap because that's too big for me. So that's why I say my measurements for the bridge width, I always say between 16 and 19. 19 is still pushing it. It's really 16 and 18. But depending on the lens width and what is the purpose for these frames, I could really play around with the numbers, but I try to stay within my specs for my face once I learned what those really were. And with that being said, if you have any questions, you're finally going on your eyeglass journey and you're saying, okay, I actually want to, have fun with my frames, and you have no clue where to start, hit me up. And the way you can do that is Go on my Twitter, go on my Instagram. It's the same handle for both. It is Miss Jae Dee Chic on Twitter and Instagram. That's MSJDCHIC on both Twitter and Instagram. And you could just shoot me a DM, put up a question on one of my posts. I really don't care. Just hit me up and we could walk through this together, or you could book a consult. I mean, I could do some basic consultation, book a consult on my website at www.jdchic.com. I have also on that website is my blog, so you could just find out some new little tidbits, anything fashionable. I try to keep it everything chic and lifestyle wise on that website. I'm currently still trying to get some of these blog posts out there because I'm a little bit behind, but guys, bear with me. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I know sometimes I'm just like, yeah, go follow me on YouTube, but hit that subscribe button so you know I'm putting out a video, which has actually been updated. Instead of Wednesdays, I've actually pushed out the video uploads to Fridays, every 2 weeks on Fridays. That will be my new video upload date. And if I decide to do something in between the time, put that subscribe button up so you could know when I'm probably randomly putting out a quick video on something fashionable or organize your closet, whatever the case is. Put that up, and until next time, welcome to the Chic Experience with Jae Dee, y'all.